Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies, honored guests, and fellow team members. Welcome to this gathering of compassionate hearts and unwavering commitment to make a profound difference. Today, we come together under the banner of We For You, a charity organization which brings an array of hope and healing in our community. In a world that often stigmatizes mental health struggles, We For You stands as a symbol of empathy, resilience, and solidarity. Millions silently suffer from depression, yet it's an adversary that too often hides in the shadows, its presence shrouded as stigma and misunderstanding. Our mission is clear: to reach out, to listen, to support, and to heal. We For You is just not a charity, it's a lifeline. We offer resources, guidance, and most importantly, a community that understands, supports, and cares. Through therapy, support groups, education, and advocacy, we are on a journey to transform lives. But, dear friends, we cannot achieve this transformative mission alone. It takes a village, a community. It takes every one of us here and those we reach out to make a change. Let us pledge to be a source of hope and healing for all those who seek solace in We For You. Together, we can bring about a world where no one suffers in silence and everyone knows that help and understand are just call away. Thank you for joining us on this vital journey. Together, we can make a difference, one life, one heart at a time. Today, we have gathered to learn more about the female body, hormones, what it is, its purpose, and what it's mean for each of us. I would also like to tell you a bit about our speaker today. There is a saying that goes, in a world full of noise, find your inner harmony. And that's exactly what Miss Hana, a captivating speaker and advocate for embracing our true selves, aims to inspire in others. She understands the importance of fostering a safe and non judgmental environment where individuals can openly discuss their thoughts and ideas. In her future aspirations, she dreams of creating a space that fuses art, literature, and language, ultimately helping people explore their identities and engage in meaningful discussions. In line with her motto, to live and let live, Miss Hannah detests crowded and noisy places. She seeks tranquility and peace, finding solace in serene environments that allow her to fully immerse herself in her thoughts and observations. With her thought provoking insights and vast knowledge, Miss Hannah is true to sure captivate her audience and leave them inspired to embrace their inner harmony and delve into the profound understanding of the cyclic nature of the female body. It is now my honor to pass the virtual floor over to Miss Hannah, who will share her valuable insights and wisdom with us today. Over to you, Miss Hannah.
Thank you, Khulud, for the warm welcome and introduction. Um, I will now share my screen. Let's begin. Um, I think you can hear in my voice. I'm pretty nervous about this. Let me just share my screen. Okay. Um, this is a talk that I've been wanting to give for a while. I had a conversation with Miss Miriam here, and she was the one who'd encouraged me to do this, to talk about something that has been on my mind, something that I've been exploring for a while. It is something that came to my attention around 2 years ago, and I was never aware of the nature of women's bodies. I wasn't having any kind of understanding of what goes on throughout the month in the life of a woman. So for me, it was something that was really interesting and something that has really helped me. And I wanted to share this with everyone, and so that it can help you, it can help other women to synchronize their life with their period, to understand their bodies and to synchronize their life according to their menstrual cycle or their monthly cycle. So for today's talk, I'll be giving you an introduction of what I'm going to be talking about, the importance of it, and just a brief background of what cycle syncing method is, or what understanding your body or understanding the female body is like. And then there is a short introduction to your hormones, which has gotten a bad rep over the years. We've always heard of hormones being the disruptors in our life. It's the hormones are causing fluctuations, or you have hormonal acne and all those kind of like different things that has caused it to have a very bad rep. So I aim to help you understand what the hormones help you with. I want you to understand your hormones, and hopefully you would be able to sync your life and help your hormones to live a better life. And then we have understanding your cycle, the fluctuations that you go through, and then the 4 phases, and then finally a conclusion. I hope that you wouldn't find this talk like an info dump. I've tried to keep it as concise as possible and as simple as possible. So it's my hope that you find it interesting and you're able to take something from this talk of mine today, inshallah. So let's begin. I want you to comment down below or just raise your hand if you can react on Zoom if you've noticed any of these within yourself over the time that you've lived. Have you ever experienced intense food cravings during certain times of the month? Have you noticed that your energy levels and mood seems to fluctuate throughout the month? If you've ever felt completely exhausted and drained for no apparent reason, how some days you might feel on top of the world, like you're creative, you're inspired, you want to do everything. And then there are some other days where you just don't want to get off your bed. You want to stay in bed and do nothing. You might have tried different diets, exercise routines, different things that you've been wanting to improve in your life, but you're not able to find any consistent result from that. Or if you're tired of feeling like your body is working against you at times. If you relate to any of these, feel free to just, send a reaction or just send a comment in the chat box. In my opinion, each one of us has gone through something. Each one of us faces something or the other. Okay. And if you haven't, I would say you're the luckiest woman alive, or you already have an understanding of your cyclical nature and you are very much in tune with it. Always, okay. All of them, yes. I face them too. It might not be during one cycle, but like through different cycles in my life, I've gone through a lot of different symptoms or a lot of different experiences such as these. Sometimes the cramps, your menstrual cramps could be terrible. You might suffer through horrible cramps, which makes you immobile, like you can't get off your bed. You might have all of them, okay. All right. It affects everything else. Yes, that's true. You just can't seem to do anything. It affects your mood. It affects your relationships as well. Sometimes you just become so grumpy that you can't have a normal conversation with the people around you. And this is not just PMS. It's not just, at a particular phase, but there are different phases in your life where you feel or experience different, emotions and so on. Okay. All right. So we'll move further from that. I'll be talking about all of these, and how you can improve your life by syncing your life with your cycle, with your menstrual cycle, and a little bit about the different phases. In my opinion, or at least from what I have experienced so far, having an understanding really makes a difference. Even if you've not worked on the other aspects of your life, if you've not worked on your diet or your the way you are dealing with things or your social energy and all of that, just having that understanding, it makes you a lot more calmer, and it makes you a lot more comfortable with yourself, that this what you're going through is related to something. It has a reason for it, and you're not alone in that. And that in itself is a very big boost. Like, it makes you feel that it's okay, it's gonna pass, it's going to go, you're going to move forward from that phase, and it's going to be okay again. So, all right, let's move forward from there. Yeah. All right. Um, Embracing our natural cycle. We all have a natural cycle, men and women. We all have a certain cycle that we follow. But unfortunately, in the Western medicine and the allopathy, or like the new medicine that we've had so far, I would say it's new because even if it's like 100 or 200 years old, it's still comparatively new. If you consider the other forms of or alternative treatments. So in the Western medicine, we don't really have much emphasis on the female body, or the woman, or the problems that they go through. Everything is just all the tests and all the experiments or whatever research is being done. It's mostly um, targeted towards the male. The test subjects, or like the people who are involved in the research, they're mostly male. And because of this, we females have been, put aside in a way. And I find it very sad that this knowledge that I'm going to be sharing today is not something that we've learned through school, through our, while growing up, when we're learning about the bodies, when we have biology in our schools. We don't really learn so much about the female body. It's mostly a generic kind of information that is given to you, a bit of introduction to some hormones, perhaps. You have an understanding of the genes, you have an understanding of how reproduction takes place, and all of that is given, but then you don't have an in-depth understanding of the female body. Okay, so first off, there is a huge difference between a man and a woman. We have big differences in the way we associate everything, the way we think, the way we, our body language, our capabilities, our, what do we say, energy that we have. Everything about the woman and the man is different. We all created different. Man, I like to consider men to be like the sun. They follow a 24-hour cycle. They have a cycle where they, when they begin their day, they start off with high testosterone, and as the day passes by, as the day goes on, it starts waning off in the afternoon, and then the testosterone levels are the lowest at night, and it kind of is like the sun, which starts going up in the morning, and then it's at its peak during the afternoon, or like noontime. It's at its zenith, and then it starts going down again. Like, it follows the cycle. So a man has a similar cycle as that of the sun. There's also some other associations as well. Male energy is associated with being strong and dependable, just like the sun. When you think of the sun, you don't think of it to be a weak creation, or when you imagine the sun's energy, it's always strength, and there's always positivity, and there's always so much of dependability when it comes to the sun. And it also is, kind of there's a connection between the three P's, which describe the men's three main duties, which is to provide, to protect, and to procreate. The same thing goes for the sun as well. With the sun's energy, you are able to grow plants or food, and it protects you with the light, and it also helps in procreation. So that's another aspect. And then we have confidence. The sun shines quite confidently. Again, this is more metaphorical than literal. Yes. So confidence as well. And I think all of us women, we have experienced this, where we're insecure about our bodies. We're insecure about a lot of things about ourselves. But men, on the other hand, they are extremely confident about, we just sometimes tend to wonder, what are they so confident about? Like, in themselves, in their personalities, in their physical features, or everything. Men tend to be a lot more confident. They don't really have, any kind of insecurity. Yes, like Miriam just shared here, it's baseless confidence, and you might have experienced this firsthand as well, where they confidently just be themselves, while women, they have all these insecurities, they have all these body image issues, or low self-esteem and all of that. There's a whole reason for that, like there's generational trauma and all that comes into play, but we won't go into that. But the sun is, pretty confident, and then we also have men who are confident, active, and more physical. There's more physical energy involved, and logical and direct. Logical, this is how men have always been thought of. They're more logical. They're the way they think, their thought process is more logical and direct. For those of you married women over here, you might have struggled with this at times, where you give instructions and you see that those instructions are never followed the way you wanted them to be. And sometimes it's just like you give them a certain instruction and then it's followed quite literally, and that causes you a lot of upset emotions, and you wish that they would understand you better. So there's a lot of communication issues as well that happens because of their direct approach, the way they see things and the way they deal with things. So that could also be, that is also related to the sun, how the sun has direct light. It gives off light, it gives off this energy, and men also give off that same sort of energy. Yes, they are very practical and exact in calculations. That is very true. Men also give off the yang energy. If you're familiar with yin and yang, the Chinese philosophy, or the Chinese oh sorry, just give me a minute. Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes. So yin and yang, and it's what causes the balance in life. And they believe men to have more, or the masculine energy to be yang energy. It's more positive, it's more open, it's more direct, logical, and all of these things are associated with men. And the other half, is the female energy, which is the yin energy, and we'll explore more of that in the next slide. The moon is woman, or we associate women to be with the moon. And this is not just, it's nothing new, it's always been this way. It's always something through the folklore, or like different cultures across the world have always associated the moon with the woman. And it can also be seen in the way we have a 28 to 30 day cycle, or it's more of like 23 to 35, but it's cyclical and it's not consistent in that. The moon has phases, and there are these different aspects that affect the cycle of the moon, and it's generally 28 to 30 days, but it's never a consistent number, just like the sun, that is like 24 hours. So that is one thing that you can connect. It's moody, women can be moody, and we have phases where we experience changes and shifts in our body. And that is the same with the moon as well. You have the waxing and the waning of the moon. You have the new moon and the no moon, full moon, and all of that. So that can also be connected. And the moon receives rather than gives off. It receives the energy and reflects it out. And this can also be connected with the women. We receive the energy, we take in the energy, and we respond in a similar way. With all of the relationships that we have in our life, we are very reciprocative. Like the energy that we receive, we tend to give off the same energy. If we're receiving a lot of negative energy, then we find ourselves giving that negative energy as well. And if you're surrounded by positive people, if you're surrounded by positive mentality, and there's a lot of a difference in what we receive, and we end up reflecting the same. Women are introspective. They think about themselves. They think about their everything. They overthink at times, and they are very considerate with regards to how they are. And this is with most women. I'm not going to make it like a stereotypical thing, but it's with most women. They're introspective. They tend to think in themselves rather than just spewing out whatever comes to their head, like just putting off the energy outside. They tend to think. Even the most blunt or the most frank kind of speaker, they tend to think. They tend to have their inner working, where they do think a lot about themselves, about others, and have an introspective nature. Empathetic, I think this goes along with women quite easily. Yes, men are more rational and far-sighted as the sun rays, and women are emotional thinkers like the moon rays. That is very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Empathetic, they empathize quite a lot. They're nurturers. They have this energy where they need to nurture, and they always give off more than they can, that is in their capacity. A lot of women, they give out a lot of themselves in every relationship. They're intuitive and evasive. Sometimes in communications, when we are speaking with the opposite gender, we tend to expect things off of them, but we don't directly communicate it. But when it comes to female friendships, we see that it is reciprocated. Like they have an understanding, but it doesn't go the same way for men. Like they need proper communication of whatever is to be done. So we tend to be evasive at times without even realizing it. We don't realize how unclear we are with our instructions, because to us it seems quite clear, it seems quite complete, but we are not, we tend to take things in a more evasive sort of manner. Realm of emotions, they have more of the emotional energy and yin energy. They have the energy of darkness, of night, of they can have this what do we say, emotional fluctuations, moodiness, and all of that is associated with yin energy. Also negativity is also is associated with it. Wait, just give me a minute. Okay. All right. I just seen this comment about how men get all their positivity and confidence from their mothers, which is quite interesting. They do. Men take a lot of their energy from their mothers. They tend to see them as, everything that they receive from their mothers, and then it really matters the kind of upbringing they get in that regard. Okay, so having this understanding of how the women are like the moon, you can understand now that our body it doesn't have a 24-hour cycle. So it is quite unfair to think of as having the ability to be the same every day. We can't, we have different energies on a daily basis. We have different positives and, or like, sorry, we have different moods on a daily basis. Everything changes according to our cycle. And if we understand this perfectly, if we understand this properly, then we would be able to, take the best or do the best. I'm sorry, I'm getting a brain fog. Yes, they're able to do their best when they are feeling their best. And then when they need the rest period, they can take the rest period as well. So just understanding this is quite important. Okay, moving further. Here we have the most important hormones that we can associate with the female body. There are 3 tiers of hormones. The first tier that we the cortisol and insulin, these are the first tier hormones because they're life and death hormones. These were there ever since we were created, and they were created to help us when we are in any sort of trouble. Like if you're familiar with the hunter-gatherer kind of tribes where you are hunting and, any kind of dangerous situation, your cortisol levels, they're supposed to, like, they put you in the survival mode and they help you out. And they're very important. They're very important hormones for your body. However, in modern day life, when we are living with excess cortisol or insulin, and we don't have the outlet for them, we don't have any form of decompression system, it can cause problems. When there's excess of cortisol or insulin, it causes problems in our body. And it is directly related to the female body. Yes, fight or flight, that's right. So, okay. So these are very important hormones, but at the same time, we need to understand how to regulate them so that we are not, mistakenly increasing them and causing problems in our life. Then we have the second tier hormones, which are pregnenolone. I am not a I don't really have a scientific background. I don't know how to pronounce this properly. It's pregnenolone, I think, and DHEA. These 2 hormones are considered the parent hormones. They are the hormones that create. They are the ones that cause these other hormones, testosterone and estrogen, to be created. So they're very important in your body, and without these, you will have other issues where if they're affected in any way, it causes you issues where it affects your reproductive hormones, and it also affects your everyday life. And then finally, we have the third tier, where we have estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, thyroid hormones, and melatonin. These hormones are the hormones that are quite visible, and any excess or reduction in your body, your body will start showing physical signs. So if you have you might have heard of estrogen dominance, or when your progesterone levels are too low, or if your thyroid hormones are affected, all of these, they tend to have effects on your everyday life. All right. So these hormones, estrogen, first off, it's the main sex hormone of the female body. It regulates the menstrual cycle, it promotes breast development, and keeps everything healthy for you. It's also very important in maintaining bone density and mood regulation. If you have an excess of estrogen in your body, then it's considered estrogen dominance, and that also causes different issues in your everyday life. Progesterone is another hormone that works closely with estrogen. They're both very important hormones. This hormone, it helps with the uterus. It helps you to prepare. It helps to prepare the uterus and regulate the menstrual cycle. And it supports pregnancy and helps you to, helps with maintaining the lining of the uterus. Testosterone, it's considered the male hormone, and you might have heard of this quite a lot. Men are high on their testosterone sometimes, like, people who are confident, like men who are confident, or like they're there's certain terminologies as well that are used to describe such people. It is very high in men, but women also have it in their bodies in smaller amounts. And this helps to, it contributes to the female sex drive and maintaining the muscle mass and bone density in a woman's body. It also helps in maintaining the energy levels and overall well-being of the woman. And then we have melatonin, which is the, you might have heard of this one as well. It is the one that helps you to sleep. It regulates your sleep cycle, and it has certain functions through which it can help you with boosting your immunity. It has antioxidant properties as well, and it's very important in your body. And then finally, we have the thyroid hormones. I'm not going to go into the details of each one of them, like estrogen as well. It's a collection of different hormones. And then thyroid hormones as well. It's a collection again. I won't go into the details of that because I don't want to confuse anyone here. But the thyroid hormones are the ones that are important for regulating your metabolism. And they control how fast your body uses the energy, and it also helps in maintaining the body temperature. They help in growth and development of your body. Moving further, we have four more hormones, sorry, that you will be meeting today. We have the anti-Mullerian hormone, the prolactin, and luteinizing hormone, and FSH. All of these hormones are part of the female body, and the main purpose for all of these hormones are to help you get pregnant and to help you procreate. They are always working in your body to create or to facilitate pregnancy. And even if you are not intending, or even if you are, not on that phase of your life, they're always going to be working in maintaining your body a certain way. Okay, tracking your period. A lot of us as kids, or like as teenagers, we weren't really taught to track our period, or why it is important to track our period. This was not something that was taught to us. Okay, sorry. I wanted to share a little bit on how you can track your period and why it's important to track your period. There are some things that you need to track when it comes to your period. The end date. How long does your period typically last? Is it longer or shorter than usual? You need to track it every month and see if there's any discrepancy, like if there's any issue in your periods, if they're too early or if they're too late, if there's some issues with them. The flow as well. You can record the heaviness of your bleeding. Is it lighter or is it heavier than usual? By tracking it, you would be able to understand what your body needs and where the problem lies. It could be a hormonal issue. It could be some other issue, like you need to regulate something in your body to work through it. So you need to track the flow as well. And then bleeding changes. Do you bleed between periods? There are people who have reported bleeding during ovulation, like the middle of their periods, like they have some spotting and stuff like that. Like there are a lot of women who experience that as well. So do you have any changes in your bleeding? Do you have pain? Do you have pain that feels worse than usual? It is considered unusual to have a lot of pain that is that puts you at a state where you can't do anything, like you just need to lay in bed and you're bedridden. So if you experience pain like that, that is not okay, and you need to test yourself out. However, it's okay to have some unusual or like some cramping or pain with your periods. It could be, some uncomfortable feeling. That is completely okay. And then have you ever noticed any changes in your mood or behavior? did anything new happen around the time? Have you ever noticed any of these changes during your periods? These are things that you need to keep track of. You need to have, you can use any of the apps that we have available to track your periods and to, understand your bodies better this way. It is very important. And I hope everyone here does that. You track your period, you track your cycle. It helps you in understanding your body better, understanding your needs better. And then here we have some details of what a normal period is supposed to look like. Your cycle length, it should last between 23 to 35 days. This is considered normal. However, there are some research done that say it should be 21 to 35, and some other people who've suggested that it should be 25 to 35. So the range is basically that. If you are getting your periods anywhere under 20 and over 40, that is considered abnormal, and you need to get yourself tested, go to a professional, and check out what is needed. Yes. All right. Color. Your bleed should be the color of deep red cranberry juice or dark cherry juice from start to finish. If you're bleeding, if the color of your blood is light, it's light red, it's pinkish, it's purplish, all of these show some discrepancy. It shows there's something missing in your body, or there's an excess of something. For example, if you have purplish sort of blood that is extremely dark, you are it's said that you have an estrogen dominance. You have too much estrogen in your body. Whereas the opposite of that, if it's like pinkish or like very light in color, then it's to do with your progesterone. Like your progesterone levels might be high or insufficient. So the color is also important. Like you need to mark your color. And then the flow length. Generally or ideally, your period should last 3 to 7 days. The flow consistency, it should be consistent. You shouldn't have a lot of clots. If you have a lot of clots, painful clots as well, sometimes like they cause cramps, and it could lead to like heavy bleeding as well. This is not regular, and you need to see, check yourself out, test your hormones out, see what is to be done. It could be something to do with your diet. It could be something to do with your stress levels, or just your hormones are imbalanced. A lot of different reasons could be the cause of it. And then physical sensations. You should be able to feel your uterus in action. Like there would be some uncomfortable feelings, some warm feelings. But if you feel or you experience pain that is extremely hard, and I know this has become such a regular thing for all of us. Like we tend to just take painkillers to go through the day at times. And this is not regular. This is not normal. If you're experiencing this kind of pain, then there is something wrong with your body, and you need to work through it. You need to work on improving or like lessening these symptoms. So if you do experience this kind of pain, then you need to analyze your body better, like analyze what is to be done. You need to do some blood work and like get your hormones tested and see where you need to improve. Perhaps it could be your diet. A lot of times lack of water or like dehydration can cause the cramps to worsen. Sometimes it could be caffeine intake as well. A lot of different things can cause different issues. So you can, keep a track of that. Then we have some causes of irregularities. These are just some examples over here. There are more than these. Like there are a lot more different causes of irregular periods. Could be due to pregnancy or breastfeeding. You can have missed periods because of that. And breastfeeding as well, it delays the return of your period after pregnancy. Eating disorders, if you're eating too less or if you are working out too much, then it causes your periods to disappear, and which is not a good thing because it is abnormal. Your body is not functioning normally, and it can interrupt your period and it can cause you problems. Then we have PCOS. This is very common these days, and a lot of women suffer with these. It causes irregular periods, and there's a little bit of an information on that, how um, cysts or like tumors can also happen. It can also be created and cause you irregular periods. And then premature ovarian failure. This is when people tend to get their menopause earlier than when they should be getting. So if you're in your 20s or 30s, you shouldn't be, your periods should not stop. But if they do, it's premature ovarian failure, and it is a condition, and this might cause them to have irregular and occasional periods. I'm not going to go into the details of it or how to, solve these and all. That could be a talk for another day. I'm just going to give this talk is supposed to be just an overview of everything. And if you are not suffering from any of these conditions, if you have regular periods, if you've tested yourself out and everything about your periods are normal, then cycle syncing should be easy for you. It should work out very well for you. If not, if you have some other issues where your periods are not regular, they're missing, or you're struggling with some issue where you're bleeding for more than a month or something, this is a problem. These are conditions that cannot apply. Like these are conditions that can cause you your cycle to be problematic, and you cannot incorporate the cycle syncing method if that is the case. Now we move on to the 4 phases. We have 4 different phases in the menstrual cycle, starting with the menstruation. The first day of your menstrual cycle, the first day you bleed, is the start of your menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle, it lasts for 3 to 7 days. That is the ideal period, and it's the first phase. And then we have the follicular phase. The follicular phase lasts for 7 to 10 days, and it is the second phase. I will go through the energy levels and moods and everything, after this. I'm just going to introduce it first. Ovulation is the third phase, and then finally we have the longest phase, which is the luteal phase, which accounts for around 10 to 14 days if you have around a 28-day cycle. Moving further, we have hormones through the month. I've introduced you through some of the hormones before, and here in this chart you can see how the hormones fluctuate through the month. So starting from day 0, when you start your menstruation, your hormones, as you can see, your estrogen, your progesterone, your luteinizing hormone, they're all quite low. FSH is, just increasing, but it's kind of low at this point. Your phase, the phase until here, menstruation and follicular phase, sometimes you'll find them regarded as just one phase. Sometimes you'll find them as the follicular phase. Some places they identify it as that. And ovulation and luteal phase, they are considered, like, they're bunched together as the luteal phase. So this is the longest phase of your cycle, and this is comparatively shorter. Menstruation, because all of your hormones are low, you will find low energy, low mood, everything is quite low over here. And then as you start, as your period ends, you will find your estrogen levels increasing. And estrogen, it helps with mood and positivity, and the energy that you have, it changes. And you might notice this in yourself as well. When you're coming towards the end of your period, you will find yourself getting this sudden boost of energy, sudden inspiration as well. And this is to do with your follicular phase. This phase helps you have a creative mindset. It helps you with, whatever things that you want to start. It's your planning phase. You can start after your periods. And then you have the ovulation, which is very short, but it is a phase where all your hormones are at the highest. And because of that, you have high energy, you have high all sorts of energy, not just like your physical energy is high, your social energy would be high, your mental energy is high. So any kind of communication that you want to do, anything, any important discussions that you want to have, all of those could be done in this phase because you are at your strongest. But unfortunately, it's a very short phase. It's around 3 to 4 days max. So, and it is said that day 14 is your, peak day. But this is a phase where you can, get a lot of the things that you want to get done. And then the teal phase, your estrogen goes down, and your estrogen, like it's comparatively, like it's going down. And then LH is also going down, and your progesterone is high. And as you can see, it goes high and then it starts dropping low. It goes high, and when it is the first week of your luteal phase, you'll find yourself to have energy to do some intense workout, energy to do a lot of like hard stuff. And then the second week, you'll find your energy going down, and everything, starts going down, and then the cycle repeats. Okay. I'm just going to have a sip. And then we have the menstrual phase. All right. Now, the first stage, which is the menstrual phase, you will experience low energy because your body is shedding the lining of the uterus, which can be physically draining. You will experience mood swings and hormonal fluctuations. You'll find yourself more tired and less motivated to do anything. In your menstrual phase, your hormones, because they're low, you will find that it is very difficult for you to do anything. You'd rather just rest and recuperate. And this phase is considered to be the winter phase, where you're kind of hibernating, you're kind of like laying low and just reflecting on your cycle, on your daily life, everything that went through. You can just relax and reflect, and you can be kind to yourself. If you're struggling to, keep your energies up, like, don't be too harsh on yourself. Like, this is supposed to happen. This is how it's supposed to be. Your energies are going down. So if you make peace with that fact, it is easier for you to just, move on and like not force yourself to do things that you're unable to do. So take this time to just be reflective, to note areas that need more attention, follow your instincts, anything that you need, anything that you need to do them. And this is also your starting point of setting intentions. Because you're reflecting everything that happened over the course of the previous month, for example, this stage, you can reflect over it and you can set the intentions for your new cycle or your new period. And I think this can be associated with winter because, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, where we have winters towards the end of the year, and we also have the people start doing their yearly resolutions and stuff towards the end of the year. So it's kind of like that, where you're setting the intentions and you're not really planning, but you are intending to do certain things towards yeah. Okay. Then we have the follicular phase. In this phase, your body is beginning, like it has gone through all the, shedding and everything. Now it's going to go through all to prepare your body for ovulation. And then you will see that your energy levels are starting to rise up. And this you will notice towards the end of the period. Like the first 2-3 days might be difficult, but then towards the end, it gets, you find yourself having a boost of energy. This stage, you will find yourself becoming a little more active and productive and positive. There's a lot that you start looking forward to, and there's a greater sense of well-being. It can also add up to creativity. Any creative projects that you have, any kind of like any activity where you need creativity, this is the best phase to be doing it, the follicular phase. It lasts for around 7 to 10 days, and here you have the estrogen, which is rising, And because of the rising estrogen, your creativity is increasing, and you will also have this burst of energy. This is a perfect time to brainstorm, to initiate anything, to plan and prepare, to research anything that you are working on. You want to do your research, you need to, like, you're gaining new information, exploring, charting strategies at work, for example, clarifying your vision. All of these could be done in the follicular phase, which is right after your periods. I like to personally do all my planning. In the previous session that we had, I'd shared a little bit of my Google Calendar. So what I do is I plan during this phase, I plan the whole month in this phase, because I have a lot of clarity. I know what I need to be doing. I can reflect on the things that weren't done, or things that I found difficult in the month, and, like, re-evaluate everything and plan up. So this time, I usually use it to plan. I also find myself a little low on social energy. I find it hard to communicate with family or friends. I find it hard to be, emotionally there for others. And this is also associated with, the hormonal changes that your body is going through. You might face this where you just don't want to talk with anyone. Like, you have this energy, at the same time you're not in this mood to, just chat with people, or like just communicate, or like be there for others, or whatever. Like, it kind of gets difficult for you. Sometimes you might even become a little irritated by the people around you. And it's okay, because, if you understand that you are, like, a certain thing or something is happening because of your body, like, it's not you who is, of course, like, every action, like, you're responsible for it, but at the same time you can just communicate it out to the people around you, so there's no miscommunication or like misunderstandings on that regard. Moving further, we have the ovulatory phase. This is a very important phase, and even though it's a very short phase, it is a very strong phase, we could say. This is a phase where you have, like, the biggest hormonal punch, because all your hormones are at the highest level, and all the work that your body has done through your follicular phase is being applied over here in this phase. So in this phase, the egg is being released, and then this is your peak time. Your mood, your stamina, creativity, energy, everything is heightened. Your productivity, you're focused, you want to make plans with your friends, you want to make plans with your family, like any plans where you want to socialize, you want to do some, like, interactive, you want to have parties or whatever it is that you'd like to do. This is the best phase to be doing it, because you are more direct, you're more like communicative, and like you have this social clarity as well. And okay, all right. Okay. All right, so moving further in your ovulatory phase, I forgot to mention over here, sorry. Your follicular phase is like spring. It's the time to prepare for your month. And then this phase is like summer. It's the phase where you do things, you do a lot of different things. It's the time where you open up, you pitch your ideas out, you have important conversations, and all of that is done in this phase. And then finally, we have the luteal phase, which is the last stage of your cycle before your cycle begins again. In this phase, your hormone levels are decreasing, and although the first week you might still have high energy, but towards the end you'll find your hormone levels decreasing. You might become grumpy, you might have mood swings, you might become irritable and tired. You might experience a lot of like PMS symptoms as well, where you're not able to understand why you feel a certain way. Some women, they just have moments where they don't understand why, but they are easily irritable. Like, there's anger or there's sadness. It is also a phase where you become a little more reflective, and specifically the latter end, like not the first week, the second week, or like towards like 3 days or 4 days before you get your periods. And there's a lot of introspection. You might even go through some regrets, things that you weren't able to do, life regrets and all, like you think a lot. And this is a perfect phase to wrap everything up. Anything that you need to attend to, anything involving your home, you want to do any task, you can do it at this phase and move further from there. That is true, yes. Yeah, that is very true, that it is going to continue until menopause. That is very true. But I'd been reading an article about how even after menopause, women seem to follow the same rhythm. Like even if they're not bleeding, they tend to, have these fluctuating emotions and fluctuating energy levels. Okay. The luteal phase is like autumn. The leaves are falling down, like everything is being shed at this phase. And then it's because of this that once you end the luteal phase and you start your periods, sometimes you end up having like these, or sometimes you end up feeling relieved when you get your periods. All right. Food during the phases. For each phase, we need to understand what our body needs and work accordingly. I'm sorry, my voice is going out. I think I've been talking for a while. And I've been sick as well, so that's affecting my voice. Okay. Menstrual phase, because all your it's the winter phase. It's advisable to incorporate warm food during this phase. Your body is already quite cold and you need to warm it up with food that can warm your gut. So here we have different examples: vegetables, fruits, grains, nuts and seeds, all through the different phases of your life. In the menstrual phase, you need to have more of hot food, soups, stews, things like that, things that warm your body up. And then when it comes to the ovulation, or like the summer season of your body, you're supposed to have more of cold food. Like you can have salads and you can have fresh vegetables and fresh fruits and like more of that, because your body is already hot and you need to cool it down with the food that you consume. And yes, I will share a PDF of this once we are done, so you can take it on from there. I don't want this to be too long. Exercises during the phases. Exercises also change. The kind of exercises that you do during menstruation, you need to stick with low intensity yoga, walking, or just very light exercises, because you don't have energy and it's not advisable to force yourself to do something that you're not able to do. So rest. This is the phase that you need to rest, and especially days 1 to 5. These are days where you need to lay low. And then follicular phase, right after your menstruation, you start getting more energy. So you can start cardio, you can start some higher intensity workouts. And then this phase, ovulation, is when you need to do more, like you can continue the high intensity workouts that you've been working on, and you can do strength training as well in this phase of your life. And the teal phase, this is your levels are going low again, so slowly, like as the days go by, follow your intuition, follow your body, and see what it needs. You might start experiencing low energy, and as you've experienced that, you can just go with lower intensity exercises. There was another thing that I wanted to share as well in regards to the exercises, which I cannot remember. Okay. Sorry, yes. With regards to diet as well, like the diet that you have, you will notice that at certain phases of your month, you feel hungrier, you have more appetite. And then at certain other phases, you have less appetite. Just follow that. Like, just don't force yourself to eat more or eat, 3 meals a day or like, that you need to eat it. Don't force yourself out this way, because if you are eating less and your body is okay with it, that is okay. Whereas there are other times of the month where you need more food, especially during menstruation and like the latter part of luteal phase, you will find yourself getting hungrier. You have more appetite. You want to eat more, and that is okay. And you can give in to your, um, wants or needs, and then have more food. Just syncing your life up to this can help. There's a lot more that I want to share. I feel like I'm kind of like jam packing everything in one, but I don't want this session to be too long. It's already an hour, and I want to kind of keep it short. If there is enough interest, I might plan on doing it like a series where I tackle everything. Okay. Also, there is how your hormones affect your skincare as well, like how you can change your skincare according to the different phase in your life. That is also something I wanted to share, but I don't have enough time to do all of that. Moving on, there are some nutrients that you can supplement yourself with. This is for in general, like this is not a an everyday, it's not regarding the phases. This could be something that can help you with your energy levels. If you find yourself constantly having low energies, then you can test yourself out and see what vitamins or minerals or nutrients are needed in your body and supplement them. Especially these ones, they help with energy. Vitamin B12, vitamin D, creatine, magnesium, iron, and folate. Especially iron, because we lose a lot of blood and we need to supplement it in our body. If you find, like, if you're struggling with a lot of like your cycle is okay, but like you're struggling with these mood issues, energy issues, or like irritability and all of these, if you experience those, then you might be needing some of these nutrients in your body. Something I've noticed in myself, I had recently gotten myself tested out, and my vitamin D levels were extremely low. And ever since I have supplemented this in my life, vitamin D and iron, I have found a difference in my energy levels. I'm able to do a lot more. I find myself a lot more positive, and my emotions seem to be more regulated, and it just seems to be a lot better. So even if you if you feel like you're getting enough sun, um do try to supplement vitamin D, because the difference it has made in my life is quite huge. So I would advise you to supplement these in your life. And finally, these are some of my personal recommendations if you're interested in this topic. I've read a couple books, but these were two books that I found interesting. This one by Alyssa Vitti, In the Flow. This book is more to do with the different phases, the different phases of your cycle. And although a lot of it felt like promotional content, there was good content in there as well. So if you're okay with, just skipping over those promotional kind of content and moving on to the actual info part, this book is a good suggestion. In the Flow by Alyssa Vitti. And this one was a more recent read of mine, Fix Your Period. This deals with a lot of different hormonal issues or like period related issues that you might have. And I found the information in this book to be very beneficial. And if you are someone who is struggling with period issues, anything from lack of periods to irregular periods, or cramps, or like it could be a variety of issues that you might be struggling with, and it has become normal for you when it shouldn't be normal. I would suggest you read this book. It has a lot of good information. I actually took the hormones part from this book, the one that I shared earlier about understanding your hormones, and I found it really beneficial. For YouTube, again, we have a lot of different content creators, but these are two that I personally watched and liked. like it was more streamlined content, and both of them, they have like various different, like they talk about different things, but I'm only talking about their like the phases, or like um the menstrual cycle that they have, the playlist that on their channel. You can check them out. And then for apps, if you're new to tracking your period, then you can check these app out. If anyone has any other suggestions of tried and tested apps, feel free to share them in the chat box, and hopefully that would benefit someone. These are some that I know of, and I've only tried Flow. I haven't really tried these, but I've been recommended these elsewhere, so I've just added them on as well. And that is about it for my talk. Unleash your curiosity, ask away. If you have any personal experience that you would like to share, feel free to share them. And I pass on the stage to you guys, to the audience now. Thank you for listening, everyone. Feel free to ask any questions if you have them. That is all from my side. I just had a question here with, from Mehreen, about women who work together end up synchronizing their cycle. And this is something that I have personally noticed, and it does happen. I always end up synchronizing my cycle with those people that I'm around. And it is true, if you're living with women, like if you're living with someone, or you're surrounded by certain women for a long period of time, you end up you're syncing your cycle with theirs. And the reason for that is I think there is something to do with the estrogen levels. If there is an estrogen dominant person in the surrounding, we all tend to follow that person's cycle, and your cycle ends up being a little earlier or later, and it does happen. And I've experienced it a lot of times myself, be it at work, be it in at home, wherever I'm spending time with women. I notice, like, over a period of time, like my cycle also starts syncing with the person around. And I find it very interesting. And while I've been researching, there was another thing that I found out, which was our synchronization is not just to do with the like the people around us, or like the women around us, but there is also the impact of the moon. And like there's some research done, but it's not enough research. But how the menstrual cycle in the past, like in the earlier days, it used to be synchronized with the moon cycle, with the phases of the moon. Like most women used to experience their periods when it is full moon, when it is like in or around the full moon. And supposedly, with the with artificial lighting and all of these technological advancements, and these artificial things that we are surrounded by, that has caused us to become out of sync. But in the past, in the earlier days, women had their cycles were synchronized with the phases of the moon. And also, this was shared earlier with someone. I had a conversation about this with someone, where they shared how the phases of the moon had an impact on how you felt during your period. Like full moon, if you get your periods on the full moon, or like around the full moon, you would have better like symptoms, or like better periods. But if you have them around no moon, then you tend to have more of the negative, or more of the issues, or like cramps, or like moodiness, irritability, and all of those are associated with the no moon. So there isn't enough research done on that, but I just found it very interesting, and I felt like sharing it. Thank you for asking the question, Nireen.
Okay, we hope to conduct more such sessions in the future on mental health and self-care, inshallah. And we will also be inviting guest speakers to speak on religion and lifestyle based on Islamic principles soon, inshallah. So please follow our pages to stay updated and be in touch. We will share more details soon with you, inshallah. It was great having you all attend to this session, and a very great thank you to Miss Hannah for talking about embracing your inner health. We hope you keep joining us, inshallah, in our sessions, and thank you, everyone. With this, I will be ending today's session with a dua. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Thank you, everyone.